Hi, good evening and welcome to the Football Wave here on WoezorTV. My name is Samuel Apia as always, and this is our final episode of the program because we know that tomorrow is the day that 23rd edition of the world's biggest football tournament or competition kick off in USA, Canada, and Mexico. And as always, on Football Wave, we'll bring you all the analysis, all the inside stuff that you need to get to know with regards to the players, the coaches, and the teams that will be competing in this year's edition of the World Cup. Remember, it is the maiden edition of the expanded tournament that is being hosted in North America. We were here last week, and then today, like I said, this is our final episode of the Football Wave. Like I said yesterday, WoezorTV will bring you some of the games of the tournament all the way from North America. But for now, myself and my guys will bring you everything that you need to know about the teams and where they are. Remember, for the past few weeks, we've dealt with some of the groups and remaining ones. This evening, we'll go through all of them and bring you everything that you need to know as the tournament officially kicks off tomorrow. Remember, the opening game is between Mexico and South Africa. But for now, we'll bring you everything that you need to know concerning the teams and then the groups where they are. This is the Football Wave. My name is Samuel Apia. Let's take a quick turn. We'll be back. I'll introduce the guys and then we zoom straight to our conversation. Stay with us. Remember, also, the show is interactive. And like I always say, you can share your thoughts, your comments, and your expectations with us. Remember, especially today, we'll be discussing Ghana and our chances. And so this is where you need to be. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Your flight is ready to leave.
Sit back and relax and enjoy the flight.
If you're watching this with your friends, you'll probably make a joke.
Because you know what you feel on the inside
Isn't what you want people to know.
If you have to pretend to be happy,
find someone you trust and tell them.
If you get mad at things and you don't know why, or have thoughts about hurting yourself,
Find someone you trust and tell them.
you are never alone when you share.
seriously, people care about you.
It's okay to not understand what you're feeling.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be.
You're never alone when you share.
Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher. Tell a brother or sister.
Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.
When I saw his face slipping, I knew it was a stroke. I called an ambulance immediately to save the life we've built together.
The way her arm was hanging down wasn't right. I insisted to go straight to the hospital to save our mother and the family.
The way he was talking when the ambulance arrived alerted us. I rang ahead so the hospital staff were ready to save precious time and the future.
Embarrassed. Too embarrassed to speak to a loved one. Too embarrassed to speak to your doctor.
Too embarrassed. When in our lifetime, 1 in 4 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 12 black men will die from prostate cancer.
Let me repeat that. 1 in 4 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. 1 in 12 black men will die from prostate cancer disease.
1 in 12. That could be your dad, even your older brother, uncle, or grandfather.
You need to make sure they are not embarrassed to speak to you or their doctor about it.
Hey, Dad, have you had your prostate checked out? See? How hard is that? It's easy. Just start the conversation.
Prostate cancer is survivable if caught and treated early enough.
Don't let embarrassment stop you having this important conversation.
You may save someone's life.
Not just your own.
Hi, welcome back, and this is the Football Wave here on WoezorTV. Like I said, this is our final episode of the program, and so we'll take our time to digest everything here on the program, and also spend a little more time on the Ghana group, because remember, Ghana opened their campaign against Panama on June 17 in Toronto. The guys are already seated. Let me introduce them, and then we zoom straight to the first group that we are going to touch on, and be with us. And let's walk you through everything that you need to know here. On my far left is Wonder. Wonder, good evening. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm always glad to discuss the World Cup because, as you said, it's the greatest sporting event mankind has ever known. And one day more, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, you know, on Monday, yesterday, I said something that we started the countdown like 500 days or 1,000 days, possibly 500, 300, 200, 100,
eventually,
50, 30, 20, 10, and then finally we are here. The day. Yeah. I mean, it's so exciting. I do recall when we're doing the countdown for the Qatar 2022, and just a similar thing. But Wandel, in your short set, giving his initial thoughts. But Eric also, the Real Madrid man, he's always excited when Chelsea are losing.
Comunicado official.
We are not doing Comunicado official. Charlie, then Atletico Madrid, they are banter. There is something else. But anyway, Eric, good evening. Welcome. How are you doing?
Good evening, Samuel. I'm doing great. I hope you are fine as well.
I'm okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's been 1,270 days since Colomboani broke my heart in Qatar. And finally, I get over that broken heart. France come to the World Cup without Colomboani, and so it's exciting times, and hopefully Le Blues, we just go on and then maybe we can win another trophy. I like the Colomboani bit because after he missed that penalty, he's never been the same again. He's been moving from loan, and then anyway, so Eric, in your short said, gentleman is a Chelsea brother, and then he's also seated. France, good evening, welcome. How are you doing?
Charlie, we are back. Yes, the World Cup is just 24 hours away. And of course, you know what? I'm just excited because the fever is already in. And if you are watching this broadcast, the right place to be in this World Cup season is WoezorTV. If you are watching something else, you are worrying yourself. There are some channels when it is raining, you can't watch. But this one, WoezorTV, Charlie, this is where the action will be taking place. All the exclusive angles, perspectives, top analysis, everything. This is the right place. So you have to be watching WoezorTV, because here no room for any form of disappointment, because here we don't disappoint, because these guys, they are solid guys.
Right.
So I must say I'm just excited. Right. We've got roughly 24 hours for the commencement of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I must say I'm super excited.
It's interesting. It's only when you understand the excitement when your country is there participating. I'm just wondering what is going through the minds of the Nigerians. Anyway, hey, Like, good evening, welcome. How you doing?
If you are Nigerian, you are
why
watching.
you surprised?
I'm sorry. If you are Nigerian, you are watching.
Why you
This
surprised?
low subliminal there.
No, why are you surprised?
Anyway, yeah, you are right. I
Yes,
think
of course.
it's wonderful that we have the World Cup. Like Eric was saying,
Yeah.
a few years ago, my heart was broken by Kolomwani, or if I should say,
Charlie. I know chop my fufu that night.
if I should say Emi Martinez. But if you can recall, in that tournament, nobody gave the Argentine team a chance.
Yeah.
I think in this tournament, nobody's also giving another goat a chance. So we will see what will happen at the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
The story is written perfectly for the other goats.
Right.
So we will see.
Right. So, Michael, as always, joining us on the program. Before we end the program, I'll let the guys give us their prediction. Who wins the biggest tournament, or who wins the biggest trophy, or the trophy at the end of the tournament in North America? But last week we concluded on Group G. Tonight, let's jump straight to the groups that will be concluded. We'll be talking about Spain in this group. Let's quickly run you through the group H, and let's see the countries that we have there. And then the guys, like I said, will run you through very quickly, because you spend some bit of time to talk about Ghana and their chances. This is how Group H stands. I mean, we have two former champions in there, Spain 2010 and then Uruguay, winning in the 90s. And then we have Saudi Arabia, and then we have Cape Verde. Remember, Cape Verde are making their debut in this particular tournament. An African country representing Africa. They are part of the record. 10 countries they are representing the continent for the first time. So Cape Verde making their tournament. So they are part. Mike.
Yeah.
These are the teams. Spain in there, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and then we have Cape Verde in there.
Yeah.
Let's begin with Spain. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's begin with Cape Verde, a very, very small country or an island making their debut. Talk to us. What should we expect from them in terms of, what they've done, and then Francis and the rest of the guy will walk through their path of qualification, their history, and then their record as well.
I think it's a very solid team. Ever since the last time I watched Cape Verde play against Ghana, you could see that the team was on a very upward trajectory. And so it is nice to see where they are now. They've actually qualified. Francis or whoever will show you the group from which they qualified from and how they were excellent in that group. But then you have Gary Rodriguez, who is a key player to watch. We have Sidney Cabral. We have Ryan Mendes, if you know Ryan Mendes.
Exactly.
He played
an exciting player.
Yes, he played football in Portugal for some time. And their coach, Pedro Leitao Brito, is very experienced. He's been with this boy for such a long time. So this team is coming. And like we've said about most of the teams, this is a team who is coming to the World Cup with an underdog status. So going to solidify their midfield, be on the back foot a lot. But I'm sure they will enjoy their time on the World Cup and then see where we'll go from there. Interesting.
France, talk to us about their path of qualification. How was it look like? How was it like for them in terms of getting their qualification to the tournament?
All right, so they've been absolutely sensational throughout the qualification. We've seen magnificent performance from them where they even topped their group. Prior to the start of the qualifiers, nobody envisaged that a team like Cape Verde was going to top the group because, they never qualified for the World Cup. Obviously, this was their first time, but they've been able to marshal a very, very good performance, and they have exhibited decent performances every single match day, and they have won 5 home matches, and that made them one of the dominant forces as far as the CAF qualification was concerned. Myself, I was absolutely impressed with the performance they put out throughout the qualifiers. And if, like I mentioned last week, performance in qualification does not always guarantee you a very good performance in the tournament. But if the qualification performance is anything to go by, then obviously we should be expecting a very good performance from Cape Verde in the FIFA World Cup. But this is their first time. They put up a very decent performance throughout the qualifiers. Like I mentioned, they have made their home a fortress, won 5 matches. That obviously gave them a very, very good edge of qualifying for the FIFA World Cup. But they've been great throughout the qualifiers, and obviously one of CAF's baby because of the performance they put up in the qualifiers. I'm just excited with what they did.
Eric, first time making their appearance. Any history about them? Of course, I'm sure they have been trying all these years, and this is the time that they are going in there. What are some of the numbers? What are some of the records that we need to keep an eye? A country making their debut in the World Cup?
I mean, like Francis said, they had a solid qualifiers during the CAF qualifications. If you want to look at their history, like you said, they've never qualified for the World Cup. This is the first time that they will be competing at the Mundial. But if you look at their history, they have been trying. Right. And since 2002, when they started playing in the qualifiers, they've constantly been there. They've constantly tried to make their appearance at the world stage. In 2002, like I said, in the qualifiers, they tried their best. They couldn't in 2006. They did same 2010, 2014, 2018. So at the seventh time of trying, finally they get to play at the World Cup. So they don't have history at the World Cup, but they've always tried to qualify. And finally, once they have qualified, they will go to the World Cup thinking that they need to make history for themselves. At their first time of playing at the World Cup, they would want to leave a mark. They would want to show the world that they are a force when it comes to football. So I'm sure that's exactly what they are going to do. And after putting up a very good showing in the qualifiers, I think that the world stage is set up for them. Right. They just need to go there. We don't expect them to go all the way and win the trophy, but certainly as one of the exciting sides from the African continent, we expect that they will put on a very strong showing at the World Cup.
As a country, a football, like I asked Michael, a very small island, but it looks like anytime they come up, I mean, when they show up at the AFCON especially, they try to put out a very, very decent performance. In the last edition of the World, I mean, the AFCON were there in Ivory Coast where they really, I mean, schooled us. Yeah. But any history that we need to pick up from this country?
For a country like Cape Verde, the historic meaning of this is their first World Cup that they are ever going to be in, and it has long been coming. You look at their AFCON performances, and this shows a country that has a plan in place and was primed. The time had come for them to get to the World Cup, and to the viewers, they will not only come to the World Cup with their performances, they light up the place with their women too, just on the lighter side.
My brother, you are in the spirit. You are in the spirit.
Charlie,
yes.
Oh, it's true.
Oh, but it's true.
And one of the things I'm also looking forward to. Yes, I'm looking forward to.
I'm not part. Me, I'm innocent.
You will not watch.
This in no way implies anything. This in no way implies anything. This is just to say the footages that will come out of the Cape Verde games will look.
I mean, we've seen a couple of them.
To the eye.
We've seen a couple of them during AFCON.
Yeah. So same.
Right. So I mean, Cape Verde, the best of luck because they will be representing the continent. Let's bring you, I mean, to your attention. Let's switch to another country that is in Group H, and that is Saudi Arabia. Famously, Argentina went all the way to clinch the title in 2022, but that famous win against Argentina was shocking. Mike, that same squad, I'm sure most of them are here
in this team.
They've changed the coach, obviously.
Yes.
And so we expect a lot of changes.
Yes.
But, I mean, take us through. What are some of the players that we need to keep an eye on, especially in group? I mean, playing against the likes of, Spain, Uruguay, and then Cape Verde.
So now let's begin with the coaching situation.
Right.
You look at the coaching situation, the Saudi Arabian president and the Football Association deciding to do away with Hervé Renard close to the beginning of this tournament. That means that this team is not Georgios Donis' team. Right. Georgios Donis is a very experienced Greek coach who decided to take up the job. But then again, like we are saying, once you have the material and they've worked together, they've played together, you know what to expect from them. So Georgios Donis is their coach. They have Mohamed Kano as a player to watch. Their captain is Salem Al-Dazari, or Al-Dazri. If you watch the Saudi Arabian League, which has got a lot of playing time on our screens these days, Salem Al-Dazari is also the captain of Al Hilal, one of the biggest teams in the Saudi Pro League. He's a captain, he's one of their players to watch. He's their inspirer. If you remember against Argentina, he scored a very wonderful goal in the 2022 Qatar tournament. So this team is a team that was forged and created by Hervé Renard. The only question is, can Georgios Donis make this team his own and make them shine once again on the world stage?
That's the most important question. And if Donis will be able to drive them all the way like we saw, Hervé Renard to that. Friends, we've seen them a couple of times. All the time they are qualifying, just like Tunisia's situation. They tend to qualify, but when they get there, they exit at the group phase. this time around, how was the qualification path like for them?
But quite unfortunately, they couldn't qualify through the Asian qualification, so they had to use the AFC door, which they managed to finish as top of the fourth AFC, which obviously gave them qualification to the FIFA World Cup, and obviously their third consecutive qualification, their seventh appearance in this particular one. I mean, like you mentioned, they don't really put up a good showing when they show up in the World Cup, but maybe just maybe this could be the year for them to maybe make it past the group stages, because the other time too they managed to beat Argentina in the last edition, but this particular one, the qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup has not been smooth for them, and I believe that maybe they will put up a decent performance in the World Cup proper. But the qualification, like I mentioned, they failed to qualify through the Asian door, but they used the AFC qualification, which gained them qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. But obviously, they are one of the teams to watch in the World Cup.
Right, interesting. How many times have they been in terms of the record?
Well, they have been at the World Cup in the past 6 times. This will be their 7th appearance at the world stage. Their best appearance was when they made their debut in the 1994 World Cup in the United States of America. They went to the round of 16. In terms of biggest results, it could be the last edition where they were able to slay eventual winners Argentina in the group stages. But really, since making that round of 16 appearance, they've never gone past the group stage. So maybe this is the year where they would want to go in there and then prove to the world that they can also play in the knockout stages. In terms of the numbers, across the 6 World Cup appearances that they've made, they've played 19 games. They've won only 3. They've drawn 2, and then they've lost as many as 13. In terms of goals scored and goals conceded, they've scored 14 goals throughout the 6 appearances that they've made at the World Cup, and they've conceded a number of goals, a total of 44 goals. So they know how to concede goals at the World Cup. Maybe this time around they would have a better defensive record where they would defend well and maybe get a few goals. That would be enough to ensure that they advance past the group stage. But it's going to be difficult because since making their debut, they've never gone past the group stage.
Historically, where do they sit in terms of when it comes to epics of world football?
The first game they play at this World Cup will be their 20th game at the World Cup. 7 times shown up at the World Cup, and it's just been the fact that the country has not been a footballing country for quite some time. Up until 1951, football in Saudi Arabia was actually haram. It was banned by law. And then in 1951, you have the Arabian king and the royals actually decide that, okay, we want to open up our country. Football is one of the ways to do that. So yes, they put in the structure, and recently we've seen a lot of investment in their league, bringing in high-end European stars to help. And if there's one nation that normally brings or calls players who are solely in their league, that is Saudi Arabia. And I think their time together in the league and playing together should be one thing to look out for. Another thing is whenever Saudi Arabia surprisingly steps at the World Cup in the US, they end up performing well. Because their last great performance at the World Cup was 1994 in the US. And 2026, we are in US, so anything could happen. Saudi Arabia could shock a lot of us.
All right, so there you have it. Let's quickly run through the last 2 countries that are in Group H, and let's begin with Uruguay, former world champions. But this time around, I do recall when they released their squad on the sidelines. The first thing Kuku asked is, where is Suarez? And he's still in there. New faces. It looks like from 2010, if you are plotting more of like a graph, you could see that they are declining.
Yes.
But anyway, we still have, Bielsa still has to release the squad.
Yes.
What are some of the things that we need to look at?
Well, Uruguay, in as much as the disappointment is in Luis Suarez missing this tournament, I think all of us...
Is it a valid decision, yes or no?
I think all of us on this panel and anyone else who is watching us understands why Suarez has been dropped, because again, if you've watched the MLS for quite some time now, Suarez cannot even make a run to receive a pass. He's not looking match fit. And if you are playing under...
So the legs are gone, simple.
Yes. If you are playing under a coach like Marcelo Bielsa and your legs are gone, you cannot even train under Marcelo Bielsa. And it's as simple as that. This is a man who's been called the man of intensity. He knows what he wants his teams to play, and they play with so much intensity, running from minute 1 to minute 90. In fact, when he was at Leeds United, there was a time where the players after spoke about him and said that there's a 1 hour period where the ball is just put in the center of the pitch and no referee, just play as much as you can, intensify and play as much as you can. And so this is Marcelo Bielsa for you. He's the coach of Uruguay. And then their captain is Jose Maria Jimenez. Maria Jimenez, if you've watched football for a long time, you know that he plays for Atletico Madrid. He's the epitome of what Marcelo Bielsa is. I've never watched him and not understood intensity and being a footballer. Of course, he's not had a very good last 2 years, and that's partly because of Uruguay's decline, like we've said. So we have Jose Maria Jimenez. The players to watch are, of course, Darwin Núñez, who is at Al Hilal, and of course Real Madrid's Federico Valverde and Manuel Ugarte. Interestingly, they have a certain Fernando Muslera as their goalkeeper. If you remember, if you're a Ghanaian and you know Fernando Muslera, in the 2010 quarter-final, when Ghana faced Uruguay, Fernando Muslera was imposed. At that time, he was 19 years old, and Fernando Muslera has been with this Uruguay team, and he will be also at the World Cup. So Fernando Muslera is one of their veterans. Of course, they have Ronaldo Arroyo. Barca fans do not like to hear it, but he's also not been in good stead. But like I said, this is a team that is curated for Marcelo Bielsa. Intensity. Federico Valverde and Jose Maria Jimenez alone are examples of what you to expect at the World Cup.
Great insight. I mean, Mike, we know that in the CONMEBOL region, the qualification is very very difficult. And Uruguay has been in and out of this tournament, and they've been there consistently and all that. This time around, how were they able to go about to do it, especially when they had to let the veteran coach leave, and then they decided to bring in Bielsa at this point. How was the path like?
It wasn't the dominant performance in the qualifying like they are known for, because this time around they had to struggle. It was back and forth because like you mentioned, the CONMEBOL is a very notorious league format where you had to play home and away. Everyone was playing home and away matches, and they managed to finish 4th in that particular group and secure qualification. But I must say, it has been one of the difficult qualification as far as Uruguay was concerned. I mean, everybody anticipated that they were going to make it seal through the qualification easy, but it was a very, very difficult one for them. Like you mentioned, it seems they have started declining for a couple of years, and the performance has not been the same. And for me, it wasn't the best of qualification, I must say. But we want to see them what they can do in the World Cup, because the World Cup is the biggest stage. Maybe sometimes you can put up a very horrible performance in the qualifiers, but maybe you get to the World Cup and put up a decent performance.
Lovely stuff, Eric. We've seen them a couple of times, former champions, going into the 23rd edition of the World Cup. What are the numbers? What are the records backing them?
I mean, you can count them among the pioneers of the World Cup. In 1930, when the tournament first kick-started, they were there. And interestingly, they won. They were champions in 1930. They missed out on 34, 38, but they returned in 1950. And since then, they've been in, out, and consistently in the past 4 World Cups, they have always been there since 2010. They've always qualified. They are 2-time champions of the World Cup. They know how to play the World Cup. They are always a force to reckon with. Even in tournaments where they struggled in the knockout stages, they've always shown up. They've always been a tough nut to crack. Ghanaians will always remember them for 2010 when they gave us that a heartbreak that we are yet to get over. In terms of the numbers across the 15 World Cups, in the last 14 World Cups that they were present at the World Cup, they have played as many as 59 games. They've won 25, they've drawn 13, and then they've lost just 21. So they have more wins at the World Cup than the number of games that they've lost. So they know how to play the World Cup. And like I said, they are among the pioneers of the World Cup, having been present at the 1930 World Cup and emerging as champions. They know how to play the World Cup. They've won it on 2 different occasions, which means they know how to win the World Cup. If they are going to have a very good tournament, and if they are going to play according to the intensity that we know their manager to play his football, and everything goes well for them, it wouldn't be surprising if they also do well and even reach the final. There's that possibility because they know how to play the World Cup.
Interesting. I mean, when somebody mentions, Uruguay, what comes to mind in terms of history? I mean, their history as a country when it comes to world football.
Uruguay is the first country to go to the Maracanã and actually beat Brazil in a World Cup final, where Brazil was tipped to win.
Yeah.
Uruguay beat them 2-1. Now you go to certain fun facts about Uruguay. You notice on their crest they have 4 stars. Any country that has won the World Cup on their jerseys actually have the stars over there too. Yeah. But they have 4 stars even when they won 2. FIFA just allows countries who have won the Olympics to also add 2 stars. So 2 stars from the World Cup, 2 stars from the Olympics. Another key thing too is Uruguay is the smallest country to actually win the World Cup by population.
Right.
Just around 3.5 million people. They've won the World Cup. When you compare them to all other countries that have won the World Cup, you see that their base is massive. And that just goes to show how a country of 3.5 million people over history in time have managed to keep on bringing in, finding new talent to create a different generation. We cannot pinpoint a fact that Uruguay had maybe 2010 to 2025 golden generation. They keep on bringing up new generation and new crops of players all the time, and that's about it for Uruguay. You also look at the type of team or the type of culture that is instilled in the Uruguay national team, and you know that this is a team that doesn't just come to play; they come to fight. Irrespective of what happens, they fight. And we Ghanaians remember the 2010, but then I also just remember just the last World Cup. When we came all guns blazing, we are coming to revenge. They did it for us, Pasa. And that's what it is. Uruguay. That's where you have it.
That's where you have it. All right. So let's discuss the final team, and then we'll touch base with the Group H. We'll do that very quickly. We'll come back and then we'll touch on Argentina's group. And I'll let the guys choose their picks, and then we can focus on the Ghana group. Now, this is Spain, 2010. 2010 in South Africa, where the rest of the team members have touched on, where Ghana experienced a difficult, heartbreak. Spain went all the way to lift the trophy. Since then, they've never, been able to win the trophy. In 2014, they exited in the group phase. In 2018, Basa. In 2022, they lost to Morocco, and this time around, they'll hope to go all the way. What has De La Fuente done this time around? What are some of the players that we need to keep an eye on? And also, what should we expect from De La Fuente?
Yeah, so De La Fuente is a master tactician, but his philosophies are around young players. So if you look at this team, this Spanish team, since he took over, he has done his very best to introduce young players. It is this team that gave Ansu Fati the chance. It is his team that gave Lamine Yamal the chance. Of course, Luis Enrique did give Gavi the chance, but this team has cemented Gavi's place. He took Pedri to the Euros when people were clamoring that Pedri should stay and rather go for the Olympics. So this man understands what it is to give youth the chance, and he's built the team around 2 wingers who are below 22 years, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. So this team is De La Fuente's team. That is what I can tell you. And this team has world beaters. If I say world beaters, players who just turn up for you at any point in time. It has a certain Ferran Torres. It has a certain Mikel Oyarzabal. It has a certain Mikel Merino. It has a certain Martin Zubimendi who can relax on the bench and come in for Rodri. So this team is built around a certain organization which he has created. But like we said, Lamine Yamal is one of the players to watch, one of the best young wingers in the game this time around. We are certainly going to see him at the World Cup. Very, very, very explosive, very beautiful to watch. He reminds everybody of what people say, how the game should be played, exciting. And then he struck a very beautiful partnership on the other side with Nico Williams. He's also a brilliant player but the problem here is that Nico Williams has been injured for much of this season. And that is where the question mark comes around the Spanish team. What is he going to do with his left-hand side? Because Nico Williams, as brilliant as he has been with the Spanish team last season, could not even master 4 goals for Atletico Bilbao, and all has a result of injury. And then a lot of people attribute it to injury, and then a lack of form, because even in games he has played, he has been off the pace. Right. And then you have a Rodri who is also slightly off the pace with City, and a Martin Zubimendi who is the only outfield player to play in every game for Arsenal in a 38-match season. So he has a lot of things to do. And then there's a centre-back where he has to figure out what to do with his centre-back pairings, because again, this last past season, Pau Kubasi has not been the best. He has not taken experience, especially in that defense, because he's dropped Nacho. So he has again the issue of his goalkeeping. Who is he going to take? He has 2 of the best goalkeepers in the world now, Juan Garcia and David Raya. Who is going to be his number 1? He always seems to choose Unai Simon, who is also with an Athletic Bilbao team and has been underwhelming this season. So his decisions will be the bane or the glory of this Spanish team.
Interesting. So tough decisions for De La Fuente to make. All the stats that the players that Mike touched on, some of the big names players when it comes to world football at the moment, were they able to get their qualification on a fair grounds, when they also had to toil to secure that qualification?
It was a very spirited performance throughout the qualifiers. They've been absolutely incredible, and of course they have beaten teams like Bulgaria and Georgia home and away, and dispatched Turkey by 6-0. And again, they only dropped points against Turkey in the second leg. But throughout the qualifiers, they've been one of the teams to watch. He mentioned all these players. Lamine Yamal, he needs no introduction. All these players, they put up a very spirited performance throughout the qualifiers. And if, again, the performance in the qualifiers is anything to go by, then obviously Spain will be one of the teams to watch in this particular World Cup, because they have been absolutely sensational throughout the qualifiers. And I'm super impressed with the performance they put out throughout the qualifier, especially putting 6 past Turkey in that very heated game.
That was a flamboyant performance, Eric. I mean, what has their record, Spain, in terms of the World Cup? I mean, can you run us through that?
I mean, they've always also found a way to always qualify. They were not present in the first edition of the World Cup in 1930, but in 1934 they were there. They made their debut, and as you know, in 2010 they won their first ever World Cup, which was actually surprising to a lot of people, because it was at a time where Spanish football was at its apex, where many thought they have dominated the world for a very long time, but it was only the first time that they were winning the World Cup. Now, in the 16 appearances that they've made at the World Cup, they've played a total of 67 games. They've managed to win 31, they've drawn 17, and lost 19. So if you also go back throughout their history, they know how to win games at the World Cup. In terms of goal scoring, they've always also been there. They've scored a total of 108 goals at the World Cup. They've conceded just 79. I mean, if you compare the numbers in terms of wins and losses, they have won more games than lost games at the World Cup. In terms of goal scoring, they've also scored more goals than conceded at the World Cup. And like I said, this will be their 17th appearance at the World Cup. Since 1978, they've always been at the World Cup. 13 consecutive times they've qualified for the World Cup. It's only Germany, Brazil, who have a better record in terms of consistently qualifying for the World Cup. So they also know how to play the World Cup. They are always at the World Cup. They have that experience, and they also have the quality. They come in here as one of the favorites for the tournament. So it's up to them. If they embrace the big stage, maybe this could be the year where they add another World Cup trophy to their collection.
Right. I mean, historically, we know that what comes to mind. That's what I asked Michael. Well, everybody wants to talk about 2010 because that is what comes to mind. But historically, I mean, are there some history that we need to keep an eye on going into this tournament in particular?
Yes, Spain in particular has been one country that suffered from the World Cup case, where you actually win it and then the next World Cup you don't perform.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, it happened to Spain. most notably after winning three
in Germany,
three tournaments.
in
It happened to
as well.
Germany,
Yeah.
happened to France.
Yep. No, after France,
It
I mean, in
happened to France
2022, they
in
won
1990, in the 2002.
Because they won in
Yeah.
98.
Yeah. So aside that, you have David Villa being their all-time top scorer at the World Cup with 6 goals. You have Ike Casillas being their all-time goalkeeper with the most clean sheets. Then you look at a country like Spain, and we have always said it, whenever they go to the World Cup and have a lot more Barcelona players, they actually tend to win it. And this time, it looks similar, because that's one of the reasons why a lot of people think Spain will actually win it. You look at the country as is, and for a country like Spain, they've been underwhelming at the World Cup, because for a country that has the top 2 best clubs in the world, who have dominated the scene for a very long time, have won almost all the intercontinental trophies you can think of, their output in terms of trophies won at the World Cup is quite not up to standard with the other nations, and that's what it is for Spain.
Right. Still with you. What teams do you think can make it out of this group? Very quickly.
Spain, Uruguay. Very easy. Spain, Uruguay.
Spain, Uruguay.
Yes.
Eric.
Yeah, Spain, Uruguay. It will come down to who gets to win their first match. I think it will be very important, because if you win your first match, then you have something to build on.
Exactly.
And I think that would be what decides who tops the group. But easily, it should be Spain and Uruguay going through the group.
Francis.
Spain, Uruguay. Simple.
Mike.
Straight shootout, Spain, Uruguay.
Spain, Uruguay. Right. So the guys believe that Spain, Uruguay will make it out of this group to the next round. Guys, this is what I want us to do in Group I. We just have 10 minutes to go for a commercial break. What I just want us to focus in Group I is that if that is the Argentina group, guys, let's have the graphic for Group I. But I just want us to run, all of us to run through the group, and then discuss the teams in there very, very quickly, and then settle on the countries that we think whether. But then, like I said earlier, when we are wrapping up the program, I'll ask you guys which country do you think will emerge as champion. So let's have Group I, the teams in Group I. Let's run through, and very quickly the guys will discuss it very, very quickly, and then we'll go for the commercial break, and then so I mean, we know that for Group I we have Argentina.
We have Argentina. We have Austria.
Austria is in there.
Algeria.
Algeria
and then we have Jordan.
Yeah. So in Group I, we have an African Europe in there. Algeria, Jordan, Argentina, and then Jordan, Austria, right. Austria, we played against them in there. Okay. Yes. And then after that, so we don't have players to swing passes together. That's interesting. But Mike, let me begin with it. I just want us to discuss this group very, very. I just want us to focus on the champions specifically, and then people have really raised concern about the preparations and all that, and whether Messi still has the legs to play, and whether the players are going to play for them, whether he still has the energy like how he played in the last edition, or whether he even gets to start, because there are some reports that he's not even fit. In the last preparatory game, he came on, and then even though he scored.
Yes.
But I mean,
Group I consists of France.
Oh, sorry, Group I rather.
We are talking about
sorry.
Group
I rather.
If the production can bring
apologies for that. Apologies for that. So I think Mike,
Group I consists of France, Senegal,
Iraq, and then Iraq. Is it Iraq or Iran?
Iraq.
Okay. Yeah, no Iran.
Iraq,
Iraq. Yeah. But so you know what? Let's just take a brief pause. Okay, so you guys, let's do it this way. Let me begin with you on the runners-up team. Okay, very, very shortly, and then we can go for the commercial break. So many changes in the setup. Some of the players that played against Argentina in the final in 2022. Some of them are not in here. Like Eric touched on.
Speaking about France.
Speaking about France, Colomani is not in the squad now.
Yeah.
Olivier Giroud is not in there. Griezmann is not in there. How does Didier Deschamps go all the way to get the best out of this particular group? Very, very quickly.
France is a team not short of talent. I don't think they'll be scratching their head over who they have or who they don't have. I think they've assembled the best team possible for this World Cup, and I think in any team or in any national team, when your players are performing on the club stage as much as possible and are at the peak of their careers, you can see that it translates to the national team. I could mention a lot of players, even as far as the first 11, that are performing so well at their club sides. You have Ryan Sheikh, who's been brilliant this season. You have Michael Olise, absolutely
Best player in the
fantastic.
world.
Usman Dembele, he's currently the Ballon d'Or holder. Usman Dembele. We have Kylian Mbappe. We have at the centre back, we have Saliba. We have Upamecano.
Is Saliba fit?
Yes, he is fit. He has been confirmed. He even played their last friendly. So I think for a club or for a country that keeps producing talents that easily slots into their team, it is absolutely going to be a very easy task for them. I think for them, their only problem will be goalkeeping. I think Mike Maignan has been very, very, very underwhelming this season at AC Milan, and his deputies are not even any better. You have Brice Samba, and I probably missed the last one, but I mean, what?
Chevalier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chevalier.
right?
Chevalier himself lost his place to Sofano.
Yeah, so
it's his goalkeeping department is a very, very, very huge problem. And then what he's going to do with his left back and his right back, what type of left back and right backs he wants? Does he want the one that plays infield, or does he want the one that bombs forward? It depends on what he's going to do. And for some reason, Didier Deschamps keeps choosing a midfield that does not have legs and creativity. And that could also be another, if you play a midfield of Rabiot, Cherki, and Chouameni, you are lacking in a lot of sense, because you are playing Cherki, who does not have legs to defend, or does not, but of course you want to create, and then you are playing Rabiot himself, he divides opinion, Rabiot, and you are playing Chouameni, who's also had a very underwhelming season. So these are the issues that he will need to solve if France will wish to do it. And then again, who is a Kylian Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele for him? Are they wingers or are they strikers? Those are questions he should ask himself.
Mention two players that you think that can carry this France team along.
Obviously, Kylian Mbappe. But then again, the centre-back pairing should be one thing they should be looking at. Are they going to do Konate and Saliba, or Saliba? They have options, but the centre-back pairing is key for them if they want to do something.
So France go through for you?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I wanted to ask you already, because the center forward thing, if he needs to settle on somebody.
Yes. Who is his center forward?
Yeah. Is it because Mbappe has been playing as a focal point at Real Madrid, same as PSG? I mean, as Dembele as the focal point at PSG, he triggers everything, and then the rest of the team. I think that is another thing that he has to address. France, Eric, and then Wendell. Three teams. So Mike believes that definitely France will go through between Iraq, Jordan, and then Senegal.
Well, for me, the Africa in me is telling me that Senegal should be able to make it past the group stages, because they've been decent. They've been absolutely fantastic throughout the qualifiers. We've seen amazing performances from them. And of course, they have shown glimpses that when given the opportunity any day, they can also lift the hope of Africa. And I'm saying this based on the performance they put up in the qualifiers. They've been one of the resolute sides throughout the African qualification, and I believe strongly that they've got what it takes to make it past the group stages. And they are one of the teams I'm banging my hope on as far as the African region is concerned.
Looking at what he said, Eric, looking at what Michael said, looking at what Francis said, with regards to Senegal, to be specific, all sort of talent around. How does Pape Thiaw go along to make sure that he gets his rightful starting 11? Unlike what Michael said, Didier Deschamps has a very tough decisions to make as to whether who becomes his first choice goalkeeper, the centre-back pairing, the midfield, even the attack. Same as I think Pep Thiaw, because so many, even the Como guy, the Diao guy was not part of this team, but then he's found his way into this team. Francis believes that Senegal probably will qualify, but how does Pep Thiaw go about to ensure that he has paraded the best 11 for this Senegal team?
I think that Thiaw has, over the years since taking over the Senegal national team, has always had control over the team, and I think that's very important. I remember recently we were at the AFCON in Morocco, where they won in the final. I think that they had the same...
It's been contested. So it's in CAS at the moment. Even though CAF, declared Morocco are the champions, and then they decided to protest the decision. So let's maybe hopefully after the World Cup we'll get to.
It will be settled.
Yeah. But funny enough, if you check all the scoring platforms, they've all reversed the results in favor of.
Yeah, because there's a decision from CAF
and all the platforms.
Yeah, sure.
Because CAF is the body of African football, so once the decision is taken, they all go by it.
There are also rumors that Senegal wants to wear their badge as African champions on their shirts.
Let's personally wait and see what happens in the opening game. Yeah.
But like I was saying, if you look at the last AFCON, they had a lot of talented players. They had a lot of quality players. But what was interesting to see was how Papitia was able to manage the squad, manage his selections for every single game. And I don't think that there was a day where his starting 11 was questionable. I don't think there was any point in time where he made some changes where people thought he didn't make the right changes. So I think that he has a hold of the kind of talent that he has and when he needs to use who and where to use who. And I think that's going to be very important. Because Senegal, since maybe in the last 10 years, they've always produced that quality, talented squad. They will always go to tournaments with a lot of quality. But like I said, since Thiaw came in, he's always known the right players to call, the right players to select for games. And I think that is going to be the same. Remember in the final, when Koulibaly was injured, everybody was scared what was going to happen.
Mamadou stepped up and then he delivered.
He had the players, he knew who to call, and then they delivered. So I think that, yes, the talent is there, that headache will be there. But because of what he has done consistently since taking charge of the team, I believe and I trust in him that he will know the players to select for every single game.
Interesting. Wendell, in 1 minute, 7 seconds, Michael believes that France will go through. Francis believes that Senegal will go through, same as Eric. If you have the Prof in your camp, you'll be fancying that he can cause a big surprise, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if I say the Prof, I mean Raf Ranik.
Yeah.
If because they are in the same group.
Yeah.
If you have Prof in there, you'll be fancying that he can pull up a very surprise.
Prof can pull up a very big surprise, but when you look at the showdown against Ghana, even though they won by that cricket margin, you could see a lot of weaknesses in that team. Rangnick is Austria, but there's no Austria.
All right. Okay.
But you look at, you go back in history to 2002, when France and Senegal were paired in the same group. Senegal actually got to advance in that tournament, and they actually gave France a shocker. It looks like something similar might happen because you look at the trajectory of this Senegal team, and they've been building a crop of players for quite some time, and now Pape Thiaw has even embedded some very young, fresh blood in the who are hungry for success, and they've been to the final twice. They've been to like the competition finals, AFCON finals throughout, and they are the best African side currently in terms of playing with grit and all that. And this group is primed for them to actually put up a show.
Okay, so who joins Senegal and then France? Is it Iraq or Norway?
Iran.
Is it Iran? Yeah.
Norway joins. And I think we'll have to look out for the best third place teams because one of these guys will be in there, either Senegal or Norway.
It's going to be interesting.
I want to see
Senegal and Norway.
Because it will be difficult for Norway not to make it past this group stage because the kind of players they have. They think what it takes to make it past the group stage.
For some years now, I think they are coming to the World Cup with some of the best players. Let's see how that group goes. And let's take a quick spin. We'll be back. We'll focus on Argentina. We'll focus on Group K because in Argentina's group, we have the champions in there. In Group K, we have an African in there, that is DRC. And then Group L, that's our own Ghana. I'll be back and I will focus much on, especially on Ghana and their chances. Stay with us.
Esan se mentutu mama mrase na mempese mama mra be yirenti. Me di biara Ghana na me num biara nso Ghana. Se ba no afa hye ne apuntuo biara se dia. Dia me di dem ho diara ne officer bite. Na huso dedi wo dia obehwie biara mu. Occasion biara ya mamre dedi wo mu no de e kire yensu. E wo afa hye eye ni apuntuo ase de. Obetime di officer bites asom wo ahoho. Unumu a e koyo. Officer Bitters made in Ghana. So open do to our first Staples Enterprise homeroom for iso. Officer Bitters, who ye guy? Officer Bitters be a guy what it? Numnya same one ton many pa wondi in fear do what we. And sasa pen for ne abata woman kodano for enumbi. And num en san fan kaka. FDA aje gwedi en krato ya tum.
Your flight is ready to leave.
Sit back and relax and enjoy the flight.
If you're watching this with your friends, you'll probably make a joke.
Because you know what you feel on the inside
isn't what you want people to know.
If you have to pretend to be happy,
find someone you trust and tell them.
If you get mad at things and you don't know why, or have thoughts about hurting yourself,
find someone you trust and tell them.
You are never alone when you share.
Seriously, people care about you.
It's okay to not understand what you're feeling.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be.
You're never alone when you share.
Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher. Tell a brother or sister.
Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.
Hi, good. Welcome back. You're still watching the Football Wave here on WoezorTV, and my name is Samuel up here. Remember, the show is interactive, and so you can join us with your thoughts, your comments, and your expectations. Our WhatsApp number will be displayed on your screen, and so you can share your thoughts with us. I'm in the studio with Wanda, Lamo, Eric, Francis, and then Michael, as always, bringing you the Football Wave on your screen. Remember, there's a final episode of the program. Tomorrow will be on your screen to bring you the opening game between South Africa and then Mexico. Now, just gone by, we discussed we've discussed two groups so far. For now, let's shift focus and discuss the champions, the defending champions, Argentina's group, and that is Group I, right? If I'm right,
Group J.
Group J. Sorry, yeah, Group J. So we have Argentina, Algeria. We have Austria and Jordan in that particular group. The graphics will be on the screen very, very shortly. But like I said, we want to run through these groups very, very quickly and then spend the rest of our time discussing Ghana and their chances. So there you have it, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and then Jordan. As always, we'll begin to discuss the champions and as to whether they'll be able to go. Like I said, whether they'll be able to win, that's another thing. And then we'll place special focus on the African side, the representative in there, that is Algeria. And then try to discuss whether Prof can pull out a very, very big surprise. Mike, defending champion, coming into this, I was asking you whether, Scaloni still trusts Messi and some of the players that they have in their folds now, because some players that we saw them play in the last edition are not in here. A classical example had to do with Dybala. He's not in here. Some few players as well, some few changes as well. But the Como guy is in there.
Nico Pass.
Yeah, brilliant player. But quickly, just run us through. What should we expect from Nico Scaloni and then this side?
This Scaloni team has always been a team that has decided to play for Messi. And if you have a team that decides to turn up for a player that they think deserves glory, it's a very dangerous thing for opponents. But I think that for whatever happened in 2022 at the World Cup in Qatar, one of the biggest problems that Argentina had, which was solved though, was a striker, an out-and-out striker. And I think last time at the World Cup, Julian Alvarez stepped up and did what must be done. This time, Lautaro Martinez has had a fantastic season with Inter Milan, and so I'm expecting him to feature prominently because Julian Alvarez has also played one of his best footballs this season for Atletico Madrid, and that could be
even though they didn't win any trophy.
Yes, and he's one of the players who also in the past season, at the just ended season, played almost all the games for Atletico Madrid. So then you realize that he's probably on a side where he's a bit fatigued.
Right.
So Scaloni has to develop a way to play Lautaro Martinez, Julian Alvarez, and then Lionel Messi and make it work. If you also remember, Angel Di Maria, will he be going to the World Cup?
That's a huge question.
Yes, and he was very, very, very integral to the 2022 win. Now, what are you going to do with the left winger? They have a very talented player in Thiago Almada who plays for Olympic Lyon, but he again also his form tailed at the end of the season. So it's a whole lot of pros and cons. Emiliano Martinez, again, goalkeeping, he's very good goalkeeper, but this season too has not been at his best. And then you look at centre back pairing. Are you going to continue to play Nicolas Otamendi? Yeah. So it's a whole lot of, and then what you want to do with Messi. Are you going to make Messi the front man again? Are you going to play around Messi, or you are going to give Nico Pass that number 10 role for Messi to come in and be a sub? But of course, Messi is the captain.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? So Scaloni is now scratching his head over what to do with this team, but it's an absolutely fantastic team that has been assembled. I think they'll go through in the group stages. But then your team is mostly defined by the number of world beaters you have. This is what I say about world beaters. Yeah. Players who can come on, change the game, and get goals for you.
If you ask Scaloni, just yes or no answer I'm expecting from you. If you ask Scaloni, will you start Messi?
Yes.
Okay. France, the defending champions, how was their qualification path like?
Well, it was a well-rehearsed qualification performances. They put up a very magnificent performance throughout the qualifiers. They have beaten all the rivals in that region. They've beaten Brazil, they've beaten Uruguay, they've beaten Chile, they've beaten Colombia, they've beaten Peru. So it was a very fantastic qualification round for them. And, you know, I've always mentioned that, you know, Argentina never had issue with qualification. And, of course, performance too in the tournament proper, they always put up a very good performance. So throughout the qualifiers, so if you're an investor, you are watching, they dispatch almost all the big guns in that CONMEBOL region and secure top spot as far as the CONMEBOL qualification was concerned. So it has been a very, very smooth ride for them as far as the CONMEBOL qualification was concerned, and they top the group and secure qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Historically, we know that this is not the first time they are winning the World Cup, but they will be coming into this tournament as one of the huge favorites. But then, I mean, what does the number say? What are the records say when it comes to Argentina?
I mean, they are also among the godfathers of the World Cup. In 1930, they were there. They've played in 18 different World Cups. It will be their 19th appearance. And they've won it on several occasions. They've won it 3 times. It tells you the pedigree of the Argentine national team. They have always been at the World Cup. They've always been competitive. They've always had star players as well. I mean, you don't need to go very far. I mean, the likes of Kun Aguero, Messi himself has been in the team for quite some time, and since he started playing for the Argentine national team, the Argentine national team has always been favourite to win the World Cup, and finally in 2022 they did win it. I mean, talk about Diego Maradona as well, one of the best in football history. I mean, he's always paid his dues for Argentina at the World Cup. So they have that history, and they come in here again, defending champions. You will fancy them among the favorites to go all the way and win it. But it's going to be tough. I mean, Messi has aged. Does he still have the legs to, orchestrate things for the Argentine national team? Like Michael said, he is surrounded by players who are willing to do the work for him. So that is very key. And if they are going to also help him in terms of, chance creation, in terms of scoring the goals, in terms of providing for people to score, then definitely together they may be a force to reckon with, and they may go all the way to defend the title. It's going to be difficult, but with Messi still in the team, I think that they are still one of the favorites.
Lovely. Wonderful. Historically, until Messi won the Copa America and then won the World Cup, people always go back to call out Maradona's name. But then they've won it. Coming into this historically, how does it look like for them?
When you look at the number 10 position, Argentina has never struggled to have a very good number 10. Maradona, you have Pablo Aimar, then you have
one of my favorite players,
yes, who was Messi's idol, and then now you have Lionel Messi. So then, as Lionel
Michael
Messi
touched on Nico Paz as
yes,
well.
I was getting to that. As Lionel Messi exits the scene, you have Nico Paz in there. One thing that they've struggled with historically is the striking position. They've always had very good names at club sides, but then they end up donning the Argentine jersey and it goes south. You have Higuain, you have Diego Milito, who won the Champions League but could not replicate that same form with Argentina. You have Hernan Crespo, all these guys, very top strikers.
Higuain as well. Higuain at the point.
Chelsea player,
exactly.
But he didn't play for Chelsea. He didn't play for only Chelsea. So why are you being specific with that Chelsea player here? Forget.
And he's a Chelsea legend too. Crespo was one of the players.
Please continue with your submission.
Yeah. So yes,
Don't
you look at that striking department. Then yes, they've always had stars in there, but have struggled when it comes to getting the job done in terms of goals and chance creation. And I don't think, given the group, how the group is placed for Argentina, I don't think Messi starts in a lot of games because you need him fresh going into the knockout phase. And they played a game just last night. He came on in the 70th minute and gave a pass that caused the penalty situation. And I think that is how he's going to be used. He's going to be managed very well because you need him in those crucial moments where to affect the game properly. And that's Argentina.
Okay, among ourselves, can we agree that Argentina goes through to the next round?
Easy.
Okay, this is where I want us to discuss the two other teams, that is Jordan and then Algeria, because there's an African interest here.
Austria
and then Algeria. Talk to me about Algeria first, what they intend to do and some of the names that can do the job for them, because I'll put a question across between Austria and then Algeria, who goes through, who joins Argentina.
We often speak about teams who are in a certain place as a country where when they step or when they enter a tournament, you look at that team and say, okay, this is a team at its peak, especially for Algeria. And the last time Algeria had such a team was a team where they had Riyad Mahrez, Rising Boli, Islam Slimani, and a host of others. I think this team is far from that. This team is not that team that Algeria has to or has to offer. But I think that for them, what they want to do is to be solid as a team or as a group and be able to get something from this group. I think they have very good youngsters, very good players who can change the game on a certain day. But I think, like we spoke about Uruguay, this is a team that after they won the AFCON, you could see that the trajectory kept going down and down and down because one way or the other, they've not been able to replace the talents that won them that AFCON. So we will see. I'm not really sure about what they will do, but I'm excited to see a few of their talents like Ibrahim Maza, who is at Bayern Leverkusen. He will be at the tournament for them. I want to see what kind of tournament you have, and that will show me what Algeria wants to do, not in the tournament but in the future.
Okay, I mean, he's been a bit skeptical about what Algeria stands to prove at this tournament. But I mean, let's take some few steps back. How were they able to get here in terms of qualifying for the tournament?
Well, it was a bit easy for them. They top Group G on the African region and qualify ahead of the almighty Cameroon. I mean, any day people would have said that no, Cameroon was going to qualify ahead of Algeria, but Algeria qualified ahead of Cameroon in that group, and of course Burkina Faso as well. So as far as the Group G in the qualifiers in the African region was concerned, it was an easy one for them, and they sailed through easily.
Okay, I mean, Eric, Joshua, have they been in this place before? Have they been in this stage before? And if they have, how many times?
They have qualified for the World Cup 4 times in the past. This will be their 5th appearance. Their maiden edition was in 1982. And in that World Cup, they became the first African side to beat any European side. They beat West Germany by 2-1. So that's a history that they keep holding on to. And they've always tried to qualify. It's not every time that they get to qualify, but like I said, this will be their 5th appearance. Right. And like Michael was alluding to, they have very, very individually good players. I mean, Mohamed Amoura is still in the team, very fast, very pacey, very skillful on the ball. And I think that is one key strength that they can rely on.
Right.
If they can rely on some of the fast players in the team to defend and then go on the counter break, maybe that could be the secret weapon that they can use at this tournament. But it's going to be difficult because some of the regular key players who gained a lot of experience after playing in a number of tournaments have left the team. I mean, he talked about Islam Slimani.
Yeah.
One of their key strikers, Baghdad Bouneja, is no longer part of the team as well. He was a cause trouble striker who could give defenders a very, very tough time in any game, but he's no longer part of the team. So we now have to wait and see the kind of structure that their coach Peptovic will be playing in the World Cup. But I think that they have very talented youngsters that can together help Riyad Mahrez to, write a very good send-off for himself at the end of the World Cup. But it's going to be very difficult for them because it's not the same Algeria that we saw winning the AFCON a few years ago.
Great. I wonder, what are in terms of history, what do we need to know when it comes to Algeria?
There's a very, very key detail when it comes to Algeria and Austria. Because in one of the World Cups, there was a situation called the disgrace of Dijon.
Yeah.
And that's what caused FIFA to change the rules to get every country to play at the same time in the last games. Algeria actually won simultaneously. Yeah. Algeria actually won two games, and then the last game to play was between West Germany and Austria. And they both had a handshake and played for West Germany to lose 1-0 to take out Algeria.
Oh,
yes. So that is how come now every final game of the World Cup we play simultaneously. Yeah. So yes, that's one thing Algeria has with Austria, and I think this time they'll come to try and overturn that situation that happened in that World Cup.
Right. I just want us to touch on Austria very, very quickly. But let me begin with you. Now we have all agreed, we are all on the same page. Argentina goes through. Between Algeria and then Austria, who joins Argentina? Michael I'm surprised. He doesn't seem to be convinced about what Algeria will be doing this time. Yeah. But if you go back to the part to their qualification, if you qualify ahead of Cameroon, then you might have done something very, very good back at home.
We'll speak about Cameroon later on, but I think Cameroon themselves was a troubled team. That team had a lot of issues with Samuel Eto'o, their president. Some of the players at some point in time did not respond to call-ups. So as for that one, I think that played into the hands of Algeria.
But I think Burkina Faso did well in that.
Yes.
Okay. Algeria.
So between Algeria and then Austria, because like we're discussing, I mistakenly even took a step ahead. But this is Prof's team. We saw Ghana playing against them. We got dismantled by 5-1. If you have the Prof of football managing your game, then you'll be fighting you'll be licking your lips and be like, you'll be saying, I have a chance here.
What gives European teams at this World Cup the edge over all other continents is the Nations League that they have been playing in. That has set them to become used to competitiveness and competitive football, even in preseason. So they are wired to play this kind of games. when you look at Algeria, Algeria is also a team that likes to dominate whoever they are playing. And they find it hard to perform at the World Cup because when they get to the World Cup, you now have teams that can play even much better than you do. So then they now have to sit back, which is not their key strength. Against Austria, Austria would obviously dominate the game and try to impose themselves in that match. I don't know how Algeria will respond, but when they come or they try to set up in a defensive way, then we'll see the kind of Algeria that we've been seeing in the past, who just come and add to the numbers.
Yeah, Eric, between Austria, Algeria, who goes through?
I mean, I would want to stick my neck out and say that Algeria goes through. Austria did beat the Black Stars, but it was the Black Stars without the coach. A Black Stars that
there was a coach.
Our coach was dodging somewhere, so
don't say that.
Our coach
we had a coach. You please proceed.
Yeah. So I mean, yes, they beat us, but I think that if you also look at how Austria played against Tunisia, I mean, I have that confidence that with the kind of quality that Algeria showed in the qualifiers, they have what it takes to compete against them. So when the two teams play, I want to see Algeria picking points. If not all the 3 points, I think they would be able to secure 1 point, maybe beat Jordan if they are able to stay competitive toward the group. And with 4 points, I think that they should be able to finish second and then also progress.
Go through. Michael I'll ask him just a simple question. Some of the players that he think can do the job for Austria. But same question.
Well,
you earlier mentioned that you have this soft spot for African country, and here is Algeria. And the first, Eric and then Wandel believes that probably Austria grabs that second spot.
I believe them, because if you watch the performance they put up, like even against Ghana, you could clearly see that this was a team ready to compete, and the performance was absolutely incredible. We've seen it, and of course, he's going to mention some of the players. I mean, but one of the players I will be looking out for is obviously Alaba. He's one of the players that will be leading the line for them, Sabitzer as well. So for me, I believe strongly that Austria has what it takes to finish second in that group.
What are some of the players that we need to
So he's mentioned Alaba. We are looking at Austria, a very, very technically good side, especially with their strikers. And they have two very intelligent strikers who are tall, lanky, quick with the ball, technically good, and can score, are very clinical.
Right.
One of them is Mikhail Gregorich.
Right.
And then there is Baumgartner. These two players play their football in Germany, and they are so good. I think Gregory scored against Ghana. They are so good. They just have a knack of scoring. I don't know how to say, but they are brilliant when they score. It's when you see them score goals, you understand, and yes, that's a striker. And I think these are one of the things that will help them, because they will have a lot of balls or crosses into the ball. If you realize when they played against Ghana, there were lots of crosses, lots of cutbacks, and Baumgartner and Gregorich are specialists at taking away cutbacks. So these are the three players you can look out for.
Great. So it's going to be an interesting group,
especially Marko Anatovic.
Marko Anatovic.
Anatovic on any day.
There is one interesting thing you also need to know about Austria. Most of their players are playing in Germany, from Austria to Germany. They just share a border, so most of the players are.
There's Kevin Danso.
I mean, Spurs. He's a Ghanaian, but then he decided to play for Austria. Okay, we are left with last two groups to touch on those two groups. We'll come back from this commercial break. We'll run through the Portugal group that comprises of Uzbekistan, Colombia, and then DRC. Okay, so we have some quick 4 or 5 minutes to go for the break. Okay, so this is what I want us to do. Let's box everything together. Then when we come back from the break, we spend the rest of the time on Ghana. Okay, so this is what I just want us to do. Colombia, you have, and in Group K, you have Colombia, Portugal, Uzbekistan, and then DRC. Yesterday we spoke briefly about DRC and some of the challenges. We are yet to know whether they've touched down in the US. But this group, obviously, Portugal goes through.
Yes.
My biggest headache, and I mean, Michael, as always, will bring us to some of the players that we need to look at. My biggest problem for Portugal now, the same question I asked you about, Messi. And I like what, I don't know, I might be mistaken. One of you said something that Messi play for the team, or the players are willing to play for him. So it's more of like a team player. On the other side of Portugal, That's not what we are seeing from Ronaldo. He wants to carry everything on his shoulders.
Yes, the goal to start every
So
game.
the same question to you: if they go through, that's fine. I'm sure that on the same page, we all agree that definitely they will go through. But is Ronaldo going to be the biggest problem for Roberto Martinez?
I don't think so. I think the team in itself should understand, like how the Argentine team understood that we are playing just for Messi to win the World Cup in Qatar 2022. The team should understand. See, Ronaldo is going to be Ronaldo, but I think that one strength he has also is to understand when the game must be a team game. And most of the time, maybe once in 5, he tries to be a little bit of himself because that's who he is. But there are times that Ronaldo understands what the team game is about. One of those times was at the previous World Cup, at the World Cup before that, when they played 3-3 against Spain. Yeah. So I think, like I said, or I've been saying throughout this week, that the Portuguese team has reached a level where these are young players who are at the peak of their game. Right. And for you to have young players, 20, 21, 23, 24, at the peak of their game, then it means that all you need is a sprinkle of experience and clinicality, and they have that in Ronaldo. So I think if they're able to gather the team around him and make these players play the way they are playing and on form at the peak of their game, Ronaldo adds that sprinkle of clinicality, they can just do it.
He starts for you.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Hey, you are benching for that.
That's fine. Let me ask you on Monday. I asked you guys the same question.
Yeah.
41-year-old. Yeah. Would you want him to be an impact player? Or Michael says he would want to start him?
If you ask me, I think if left with me alone, I think he should be starting from the bench.
No,
because
the problem is they don't even have a better striker than Ronaldo. Name which striker that Portugal has that can play this tournament.
But I think I understand. Sami is also looking at his 41 years. Does he really have the legs to run 90 minutes?
Just leave him up there. Leave him up there. All you need to do is give him better wingers, and the midfielder can interchange with him.
If you leave him up there, is he not going to be isolated? Because they're going to keep an eye on him. They're going to frustrate him.
This Portugal team is going to be on top of every opponent most of the time. So leaving him up there is even a bonus for you.
Start for you.
Absolutely. And as far as the qualification to the World Cup was concerned, they've been absolutely decent, and a lot of people raised eyebrows that they were beat, they drew some of the matches, but the standout performance for me was that game against Armenia, where they dispatched them by 9-0 on the 13th of November 2025 and still qualification. So for me, they've been absolutely sensational throughout the qualification, and Ronaldo is obviously
final thoughts. Eric.
Well, I mean, if you are talking about Ronaldo, I don't see why he shouldn't start. Between 2019-30, they only qualified for 2 World Cups. That's 70 years. Ronaldo comes in 2002. They've qualified for 6 straight World Cups. That's the man we are talking about. He's an impact maker.
But he's 41 now.
Well, he still plays. He still scores his goals. He's chasing his record.
Fair. 1-0.
I think Ronaldo starts. It's unquestionable.
Okay.
Just about whether he will have the humility to not put himself above the team performance. Because I saw one clip where there was a goal scoring chance he could have just passed.
That's my problem.
But decided to take the glory for himself.
That wasn't good. You're chasing a record
quickly.
And that's what will be the undoing of Portugal. If Ronaldo decides to play for the team, Portugal will be unstoppable.
If the team also decides to play for him, he reaches the record faster.
And they win the trophy too.
So very quickly, we'll have to go, guys. Portugal, Colombia, DRC, Uzbekistan. Which 2 teams go through?
Portugal, Colombia. DRC don't stand a chance because of the issues they face. Uzbekistan is just there to add to their numbers.
Charlie, absolutely agree with
Portugal, Colombia.
Portugal, Colombia.
Mike saying
Portugal, Colombia, DRC, one of the best place teams.
I see. Right. For me, start Goncalo Ramos, bench Ronaldo. Let's go for a
Goncalo Ramos.
We'll be back on
That's your opinion.
Goncalo.
Can he tee up someone in red? In it goes to one.
Too much, sir! That's who goal is for. I got 5 Champions League. You want to know? I be the real goat, chairman. I be the real goat. The left magician. The left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigeria Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shift. You two they lie, eh? Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Hey, you are lying. Ghana Jollof.
Are you idiot? Forget everybody, yeah? My guy. Put some respect on the goat. On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama. Every year, we dey give to you back. We are talking about PET. I want to hear the face. Except be the goat, huh? My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 and recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Your flight is ready to leave.
Sit back and relax and enjoy the flight.
If you're watching this with your friends, you'll probably make a joke.
Because you know what you feel on the inside
isn't what you want people to know.
If you have to pretend to be happy,
find someone you trust and tell them.
If you get mad at things and you don't know why, or have thoughts about hurting yourself,
find someone you trust and tell them.
You are never alone when you share.
Seriously, people care about you.
It's okay to not understand what you're feeling.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be.
You're never alone when you share.
Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher. Tell a brother or sister.
Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.
The football with here on WoezorTV, and my name is Samuel Apia. I'm here with Michael, Francis, Eric, and then Wendell. We've discussed 11 groups. We are the final bit of all the groups, and that particular group comprised of Ghana, Croatia, Panama, and England. So many major talking points from Ghana's come, but you hear from the guys, and then I'll ask them whether Ghana stand a chance to qualify, and then at the tail of the program, which country will lift the trophy this time around. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to deal with the opponents, the 3 groups that Ghana will be coming up against, and then we take Ghana as a team, and then we'll discuss that, and then we can wrap up the show. So we'll have the Ghana group graphics on your screen very, very shortly, but we all know they are coming up against, they play against Panama, Croatia, England in their second group game, and then remember on the first group game is on June 17, the second group game is on June 23, and then the third group game is on June 27. Mike, all these 3 teams that we're going to play against, this is what I want you to do because of time's sake, and then we can spend time discuss England, what they can do, the players that they will be targeting, or we should look at for same as Croatia, same as Panama, and then we'll go in that order. And then when we are done, and then we'll discuss Ghana as a team.
Okay, so I should start with England.
Exactly.
So yeah, like we've said, or like a few of the guys have said, when the league in your country is at the top level, your national teams are going to do very well. Fortunately for England, they have returned to building talent in that country, and they've returned to a set of players who are united on and off the pitch. If I say off the pitch, even in their club sides, you realize that they are so glued together, they understand each other. So for England, who is coached by a coach that is termed as a tournament style coach.
At Chelsea, former Chelsea coach.
Tuchel.
Former Dortmund.
Former Chelsea.
Former Dortmund.
You know, the Champions League winning coach for Chelsea at that.
Former Mainz, Dortmund, PSG coach.
Well, he was able to win the Champions League with Chelsea, so please proceed.
And Chelsea coach Thomas Tuchel. He's come under a lot of scrutiny. The people are laughing. He's come under a lot of scrutiny because the English media do not like how he plays. But he has stuck to what he wants to do as a team, what he wants his team to transmit. So he's decided to go for effectiveness over most probably the England way. And I like that for him. Right. And if he probably knows that if it backfires, he's packing his bag. But for key players, we have Harry Kane. Right. Oh, Benjamin Asari. Harry Kane. We have Declan Rice. We have Eze. We have Saka. We have
Morgan
Rogers. We have Jordan Pickford, a very beautiful centre back pairing. You have Ezri Konsa. The few cries about the Manchester United defender not going. Harry Maguire being left out and all that. So yeah, England.
Did you mention the Declan Rice?
He mentioned.
Hey, me. I mentioned Papa. But I mean, this English team, over the years, Southgate has built a very brilliant team that has brought some kind of togetherness, and now they have the talent. They are much like the Portuguese team where young players are at their peak. Right. So they could do something, and hopefully they will. And then, so when we move on to Croatia, this Croatia team, it's a team that is transitioning. Zlatko Dalic left the team and came back again. So it's a team that is transitioning. But obviously, we have Luka Modric. I think he said that this is his last tournament. We have Mateo Kovacic as a player to look out for. And we have the ever-present Ivan Perisic. If you look at this team, I think this team has over 8 30-year-olds. That leaves the average age for this team going past 29. And that's also a worry for a team that will be playing today's game against very fit defenders and very fit people in terms of England. But I think for Croatia, this is a country whose players get better with age. And so we've seen that with them. So they have a very good striker in Kramaric. They have a very young defender in Vuskovic, who I want to see what they will do with at the tournament. But Croatia, that's simply Croatia for you.
Touch on Susic.
Petar Susic, who plays for Inter Milan. I wanted to see him play more for Inter Milan, but eventually he didn't play more. But I will see him at the World Cup, that's why, and we will see how we are going, because Brozovic is also going. So what is Zlatko Dalic going to do with whether he plays both of them together, and then Luka Modric, like he said, Petar Susic is a bit younger, 23, 24. And then for the almighty Panama, Panama is being coached by Thomas Christiansen. This guy led this team in the Gold Cup match to score against United States of America. Panama, if you watch the friendly Panama against Brazil, which they were whooped, you understand the type of game Panama will come and play. The game that will frustrate, the game that you have. I think in that game, or whoever plays Panama, the referee who officiates that game will have his work cut out for him, because this is a team that takes a few nibbles, drags, hold-ons, elbows. They try to frustrate you in a way where you have to release the ball quickly. And for them, that is their advantage, and they will try to use that as much as possible. So there you have it. These are our opponents and how they play in their star player. For Panama, their star players to look out for. Their captain is Anibal Godoy, and they have Jose Luis Rodriguez, a very fast wing player, Jose Fajardo, and then they have the veteran Eric Davis. So there you have it. That's for Panama.
You listen to what Michael said. some of the, I mean, those 3 teams, all of them are in this. We have 2 European teams, and then we have one Central American side that will be playing against. I mean, just educate us in terms of their qualification path. Wandel and Eric will deal with the history, and then other bit, then we'll come back to Ghana.
Well, the favorite in the group, I'm going to start with the favorite in our group. England, they have been, I mean, they need no introduction when it comes to football. I mean, football originated from England, so everything they want to be at like the apex of everything. And throughout the qualification, they have gone unbeaten. They have played 7 matches without losing any of them. They've scored 19 goals, considered just 1. And Thomas Tuchel has pressed this particular team. They recorded victories against Latvia, also 5-0, and it was a well-rehearsed qualification performance from them. Harry Kane was in the thick of things for them throughout the qualifiers. They put up a very magnificent performance, and of course, I am not surprised that they are in the 2026 FIFA World Cup because the performance they put up in the qualifiers. A lot of people will mention that, oh, okay, because they've played against some of the weaker teams in Europe, but you know, you beat what is placed in front of you. So they were absolutely resolute throughout the qualifiers, and of course, you know, they've been absolutely incredible. And if you look at Croatia, they've also had a very it wasn't consistent qualification performance from them. They also struggle in some of the matches, but at least the most important thing is they managed to seal qualification to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. They've always been a team to watch in terms of quick counter-attacking football. They will give you that. It is up to you, the opponent, to ensure that you marshal your defense in such a way that you don't concede against them. But throughout the qualifiers, they've put up a very, very good performance and seal qualification. And of course, Panama, obviously, they are also just black like us, and so physicality in the qualifiers was there, and of course, they were very, very good throughout the qualifiers, and that is why a lot of people are sort of trying to write them off in terms of this particular group. I believe that they will also be one of the tough nuts to crack, because if you want to beat them, you have to put up a very, very good performance. They managed to qualify in that particular region. They put up a very good performance. They score goals, and of course, if you look at them, they've got goals in them, and they are not just going to be walkover in this particular 2026 FIFA World Cup. If the qualification is anything to go by, they've got a lot of goals, and they've scored a lot of goals in the qualifiers. I'm going to see they are going to put up that qualification performance in the World Cup. And again, the Black Stars, I think they have to be very mindful about that.
Lovely stuff. Eric, box everything together. The history of these 3 countries that will be playing against in our group.
I mean, maybe I should just start from Panama because they don't have so much history in the World Cup.
Right. So, I mean, in terms of the records.
In terms of the records, I mean, many people don't remember, but they were at the 2018 World Cup was it in Russia?
In Russia,
yeah. And unfortunately for them, in their first ever appearance, they were in the group that was too difficult for them. There was no way they were going to go out. They were in the group with Belgium, England, Tunisia. They lost all the games. So they are yet to win any game at the World Cup. They are yet to really show that they also know how to play football at the World Cup. This will be their second appearance, and hopefully they will try to, I mean, win their first game at the World Cup. If you talk about Croatia, I think that in the last 2 World Cups, it puts them above all the other teams in the group in terms of where they have finished. Remember in 2018, they all went all the way into the final. They almost won it. They finished second as runners-up. In 2022, they also stepped up. They tried to win it again. They finished third in that World Cup. Yeah. It tells you that in terms of consistency, they've been there. I mean, they couldn't do better than they did in the 2018 edition, but to manage to go to the semi-finals and then lose out and then play the 3rd and 4th place match, I think that it was impressive, and it showed how there was continuity and then there was consistency in the team. The only negative side about how they are going to this World Cup is the fact that most of the players that excelled in the 2018-2022 editions have aged, and so they are not going to be able to provide the same kind of
exactly what
Michael said. So that's the downside of their campaign at this World Cup. But if you compare the last 2 World Cups of all the teams in the group, I think that they are a very strong side. For England, they've also consistently been at the World Cup. If you are talking about most of the countries or the few countries that have had the most appearances at the World Cup, you would have to count England because they made 17 appearances at the World Cup. But their best and most memorable appearance at the World Cup was in 1966. Hosted on home soil in the final against West Germany, they beat them by 4-2 in extra time, won their first and only World Cup trophy. Since then, it's been songs after songs. It's coming home, it's coming home, never comes home. So, I mean, all the three teams will be difficult to play against if you are from Ghana and you expect that the Black Stars will advance. But in terms of the history, if I'm to rank them, I think that in the last two editions, if you are comparing England and Croatia, for me, I think that Croatia have done better than England. And for England, I think that they will come second. And because of the quality that they are parading to the World Cup, they are also a force to reckon with. And it will be very difficult to see how Croatia even plays against them, Panama plays against them, and then the Black Stars also plays against them. So this is a bit about the history of the three teams in the group.
I love these things. The insight is the most important thing, so that when we're talking about or when we're debating, you'll be more realistic. That's what I love. I mean, like what Eric did. I mean, in terms of the history, and then we have some more time or some time to talk about Ghana and whether we'll be able to make it out to the knockout phase or not. But these three teams that the team members have discussed, any history that we need to keep an eye on and how we will be our way going into this games.
Yeah, one thing is they have their history and they have their insights. We have our prophets, so we are still going one goal project to the quarterfinals.
Who is your prophet?
Don't worry. Keep watching the show.
Who is your prophet?
Keep watching. The prophet will come on very soon. See, we brought the prophet to this studio and did a recording.
Okay.
Hey, now go.
Holy Ghost fire.
One.
Okay, I think one of they said there's a video for you. I don't know.
The prophet.
Fire.
So if production can get us the video,
Yes.
then we'll come back.
Yes.
And then you box the history thing together and we can talk about Ghana and can wrap up.
The investors need to pay attention.
Hold on. Guys, let's have a look at this video. I don't know if against Panama 1-0.
It be 1-0
Against England
1-0
against Croatia
1-0.
So after the round of 32,
Yeah,
depending on opponent,
that one there, I know we don't catch there. So what me I know right now, be what I tell you. It be 1-1-1-1 3 ones.
England, Croatia 1-0.
1-0. Panama 1-0. England take quick 1-0.
England
No ball they enter on a net.
No ball enter on a
No
net.
ball.
Keep clean
sheet. That one they I don't know who will catch.
That one they don't show.
The quarterfinal, then we just color the opponents the way.
See, what me I see right now.
Tell them.
It be where I talk no. So if you force me, what I will talk will be nya.
Follow the spirit.
Quarterfinal.
So Panama 1-0.
It be 3 ones.
1-1. But you are certain if we will score.
It be we score, it no be them.
When the referee take,
It take.
VAR no over 10. Can't DB hata.
It be serious.
Hold
on. Against Panama 1-0.
It be 1-0.
Against England
1-0.
against Croatia
1-0.
So after the round of 32,
Yeah,
depending on opponent,
that one there, I know we don't catch there.
Spirit no rest there.
So what me I know right now.
immediately he said no go enter on our net. My girl was like, hey,
No.
please proceed.
This prophet.
We'll come back and talk about Ghana. Please talk. Don't talk about Ghana now. Talk about the three.
Yes. That in the that just ended World Cup.
Yeah, 2022.
Did you think Morocco was going to the semi-final?
No, nobody saw it coming.
Exactly. That is where I'm getting to. There's history, there are stats, there are facts, there are insights, but there are prophets. So let's
come back to that.
Yes. You look at Panama and yes, they were at the 2018 World Cup. As you said, that was their nursery grounds to come and experience what it takes to be in the World Cup. This time they come with much more experience. They couldn't go to the last World Cup, but then they made it to this one, and they are qualifying. The road to qualification was impressive. You look at their friendlies, and you see a team that is highly physical and are going to capitalize on playing dirty games on and off the pitch to win games. Then again, I look at Croatia, who is a team in transition, and the golden generation Croatia that we know that went to the final. It's not the same Croatia we have now. And yes, some fresh blood has been introduced, but their team was anchored on the midfield engine they had. And currently, that doesn't exist because I don't think Modric has the legs to play in an even extended World Cup tournament. I, for one, is even fancying the chances of Panama against this this Croatian team. I think Panama could pull a surprise there. They could pull a surprise against Ghana, but we have our prophet. That's on. Then we come to the England. It has been coming home for a very long time. I don't think it's coming home this time too. It will only come home when they decide to put in a bid to host the World Cup. Then they can repeat 1966. But they are the true definition of who a national team should be. They are one of the first national teams that was formed in the world. So they are joint number one. They have the goalkeeper with the most clean sheets ever. That was James Hilton. You look at how their league has evolved and you see a pattern in how the talents that they now get into their team. Their number one sickness has to do with doing things the English way. They are so-called golden generation that had the likes of Rooney, Gerrard. You realize because they had to do things the English way, they ended up boxing midfielders of the same crop to try and make it work. When some other players who were not as popular as the Gerrards and the Scholes and the Lampards could have been in there to just make the team work. Their English way almost always unbalances the side. And I think Tuchel is positioned as the coach to cut that canker that we all know. And we've seen it from his collapse because on any day with the type of season Trent Alexander-Arnold had, he was definitely going to be in the squad, irrespective of whatever he put up, because it's the English way. He's an English boy. But Tuchel has come in and said, hey, no, that's not happening here. We are going with who is primed to perform whatever action I want. And it's no surprise that the English media is fighting him over this. But England are the clear favorites, and we expect them to get some results going early, because the game against Croatia is very defining. And if they're able to get that win, then now it makes things easier for them going into the other games. Now, I'll mention some countries. You have Algeria, South Korea, Honduras, Ghana. There's one thing all of these countries have in common. England has never beaten any of them.
Great. Mike, friends have spoken, Eric has spoken, Wonderla has spoken. This is where I think everybody has an interest in. You've taken your time to follow the Black Stars and their preparation. Some players, they decided not to bring in most of the players for the Mexico friendly game. We sat on this studio and we discussed that there was no way the players were going to join because most of the seasons were not going to be over. And indeed, most of the players that were invited, it was just one player that made it to the final squad. That was Benjamin Asare. They went to Wales, played that friendly, moved to US. They were hoping to play against Jamaica, it didn't happen. They were hoping to play against Honduras, it didn't happen. But it means that we are going into this tournament with just one preparatory game. We come up against Panama, Croatia, and then England. First of all, are you even convinced about what we have, the team that we have, and can we even make it out of our group?
I am convinced based on what I saw against Wales. and based on the unpredictability we now have. Because look, I can tell you for a fact that Croatia and England are teams with their backroom staff very data driven, and they would have loved to have a lot of data on how the Ghana team will play under Carlos Queiroz. It is a complete deviation, at least what I saw Wales against Wales. It's a complete deviation of how we played under Otuado. And this, for me, is a blessing in disguise for Carlos Queiroz and this Ghana team. This is a team that has a player that has played in one of the best leagues in the world and is in the top 3 or top 4 percentiles in goal scoring, chance creation, and development. And this is Antoine Semenyo. And even though we've had our issues with who the centre back pairing should be, because definitely Mohamed Salisu and Alexander Jiku will not be there, we've also had a very big test with Wales, which has been answered by Jerome and then Jonas Ajeti. And if I look at that centre back pairing, all I see is one with a cool head who can make the tackles, and one who is more likely the rush player, who on his day, of course, when you're a rush player, you sometimes, but who on his day is able to intimidate, harass, tackle strikers who always keep running from him to the one who is a cool head who can tackle. I think our problem, or Carlos Queiroz's big test, will be to find a way where goals keep coming. And this is going to be the problem. Is he going to be the counter-attacking coach? Or he's going to be the coach who plays the football? Make no mistake about it, Croatia do not play in a way where they want to have the ball more. All they have to do is to make their midfield work the game for them. England, as has already been seen with Thomas Tuchel, he wouldn't care about possessing the ball, and this is Thomas Tuchel's sense. So which Thomas Tuchel turns up for you, and of course these are teams that will, apart from Panama, these are teams that will direct how we play. We cannot impose ourselves on Croatia and England. But I'm very critical about in-game management. It's also very key, especially with Carlos Queiroz and the type of players we have. In-game management. This is very key. I think if we are going to go forward, what will keep us on top of our game or in check or at our best will be first 11s, in-game management. And when I talk about in-game management, I'm not talking about substitutions. I'm talking about what you do with your players on the pitch.
Once the game is ongoing.
If you detect what is happening, because for teams like Croatia and England, the rotations are going to be crazy. Crazy rotations. You have, if he decides to start Morgan Rogers, then that midfield is going to be crazy. So what do you do to track Morgan Rogers, who can easily lose markets and easily drift wide right? What do you do with that once you see that it happens? And then when you get to a game like Panama, who are rough, who's going to make the referee work, how are you able to play to impose yourself on them? And I think these are the 3 areas that
it's going to be
critical. We're going to be critical for Carlos Queiroz. I like the videos I've seen in camp and how he's trying to build a team spirit also. But I would not like to speak a lot about Ghana. I think I've already made my point. In-game management, first 11s, and then substitutions.
Great. Yes or no? I mean, question to you. Who's starting post for you?
Again, so if I am
a simple question,
yeah,
who's starting post?
that is also what I'm speaking about unpredictability. You saw two halves of two goalkeepers who were okay, but I think Atizigi starts for me slightly ahead because of maybe his experience playing outside, and then I think both keepers have issues because this English team is going to also play a lot of set pieces.
Exactly.
Both keepers have issues in dealing with those set pieces. Fortunately for us, we have a centre backs who are ready to fight and head balls out. But how our goalkeepers are going to take the air balls, especially in corner kick and set piece situations. So, but for me, I think Atizigi that's
for you.
Yeah,
friends. Atizigi this morning spoke to the Ghana Football social media team, and they mentioned that they are willing and they are ready to step up and going to fight for every ball and win. If we're a Black Stars player and then you made the final 26-man list, you've been to the 2022 World Cup, it didn't go through. Even before that, you've been to Cameroon, the AFCON group phase exit, Qatar group phase exit, Ivory Coast group phase exit. 2025 AFCON, he couldn't qualify. They salvaged the situation and the team was able to qualify. If we're a Black Stars player, and also among the players going into this team, games against Panama, England, and Croatia, what do you think they will be discussing among themselves? Because if you listen to Michael, I go back to what Atigi said, playing according to the coach's instruction and whatever he asks them to do on the pitch is going to be very critical. So among the players themselves, what do you think the narrative what do you think the conversation will be?
Well, you need to put up a very good performance. First of all, you have to listen to the coach. And I've mentioned that one of the things that will count in our favor in this 2026 FIFA World Cup is the experience of our coach. He has seen it all. 5 World Cup appearances. It's no joke. For a coach to appear at the World Cup on 5 occasions, no joke. He's a very, very good coach. And of course, he understands the World Cup terrain very, very well. And look, I'm just excited that we've got someone who has that experience because most of our players, like a lot of people, do not really have, confidence in the team. Because if you look through, somebody was telling me that if you look at the dugout, the coach will look at the dugout. Who is he going to bring on? Does he really have players who can change games for him? But he has experience. So I believe that the experience at the end of the day will count. But look, I'm going to say this. Yeah. We need to I think we need to go back to our qualification mode. How we managed to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We put up a very magnificent performance. Forget about what happened in the friendlies, in the international friendlies. But the kind of performance we put up in the qualifiers, if we can replicate that, and I'll be looking forward to seeing the team replicating that performance, that qualification performance. Because for me, this is the first time I've seen a Black Stars put up a very magnificent performance in a World Cup qualifiers, playing 10 matches, drawn 1, won 9, and scored what? As many as 23 goals, conceded 6.
They lost one against Comoros. That's our away game.
Okay.
So they recorded 8 wins.
They recorded 8 wins and one draw. Yeah. So I also scored 23 goals and conceded 6. And in all, recorded not just win, heavy.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Heavy results. 5 against Chad. We beat Chad 5-0 here at Accra Sports Stadium in Accra. We beat Central African Republic 5-0. So then I'm looking at the team. Why is everyone losing hope? If we are to switch to the qualification mode, then we have a better chance, because then somebody will say, okay, because of the team failing to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations for the first time, they decided to make amends. They decided to put up a very good performance just to make Ghanaians happy. But if these players, this group of players, know that this is what we can do to get results, why do you have to do something else?
All right.
Because right after the qualification, a lot of people are also making cases that, right after the qualification, we've not been able to put up a good performance. All the friendlies we've played, we've not been able to put up a very good performance.
Yeah.
We conceded a lot of goals. Then you ask yourself, the new manager comes in just 3 or 4 weeks or so ago. he played his first friendly against Wales. And that was a confidence booster. Even though a lot of people say, okay, you play against a very cheap Wales side. But the fact of the matter is, with what I saw against Wales, this team has a chance if we can take our chances. If these players can understand that, okay, you are fighting for 34 million people back home. Everyone is watching you closely, especially knowing very well that you've not been great in the last few years.
Yeah.
This is a perfect opportunity for you to showcase your country. This is a perfect opportunity for you to sort of maybe replicate what's happened in 2010, where, I mean, what Ghana got in 2010 was a big PR move that really brought the country to the limelight. A lot of people got to hear of Ghana for the first time in 2010. So that is football. Football plays a very, very important role in terms of PR for countries. And I believe that these players, they need to understand that, look, 34 million people are rallying behind us. We need to put up a very good performance. And there should be, like Michael mentioned, the team spirit. We've seen them, the Jama there, everything. The Jama there is always, that's always been part of the team. Yeah. But I believe that the performance we put up in the qualifiers, we need to go back to that. Even though the coach that took us through the qualifiers is no longer there. But I believe that these players, most of the players who play the qualifiers are still in this team. They have to understand that, okay, guys.
So you think it will go through? So you think you'll go through?
I believe we stand it. But if you want to go through, the first game against Panama is very absolutely important.
We go back to what Michael and Francis are just saying. Michael touched on the in-game variations. If we really want to go make it to the knockout phase, what do you think should be the game plan, even in terms of the personnel on the pitch, everything? Okay, I mean, before you even touch on that, let's do a very quick short break. We'll be back, and then the guys will wrap up on the Ghana conversation. We'll be back very shortly.
Esan se men tutu mama mrase na men pese mama mra be yirenti mi di biara Ghana na me num biara so Ghana se ba no afa hye ne apuntuo biara se dia me di dem ho diara ne officer bites na huso dedi wo dia obehwie biara mu occasion biara ya mamre dedi wo mu no de e kire yensu e wo afa hye eye ni apuntuo ase de obetime di officer bites asom wo hoho unumu a e koyo Officer Bites made in Ghana. So open do to our First Stepos Enterprise Hometrum Foiso. Officer Bites, who ye guy. Officer Bites be a guy what it. Numnya same one tom manipa wondi in field watry. And Sasa pen for ne abata woman codano for enumbi. And num en san fan kaka. FDA aje gwedi enkra to yatum.
Your flight is ready to leave.
Sit back and relax and enjoy the flight.
Welcome back. You're still watching the football wave here on WoezorTV. My name is Samuel Apia. We are almost at the verge of wrapping up our conversation here. We're still placing a special focus on Ghana and their chances. Eric, I was asking you go back to what Michael and Francis said, the in-game variation. If you really want to go make it to the next round, which is the knockout round, What should be the game plan? I was quite surprised with the game that we played against Wales. He decided to go for back 3 in games, back 4, back 5. Depending on the position that we'll be playing against, what should be the personnel? What should be the game plan in all the game? Because Francis said, if we want to qualify, win against Panama, we are targeting Panama as the whipping boy, but we need to tread cautiously. But then the point is, what should be the game plan?
I mean, we always have to learn from history. We've been at the World Cup. This will be our 5th appearance. In the years where we were very successful, what worked for us? We need to go back and then look at those years. Our first appearance was in 2006.
Yep.
We were able to go to the round of 16. We won 2 games in the group. I think we beat the Czech Republic, which was our first win at the World Cup.
Exactly.
We also beat the United States of America as well. I mean, in that team, yes, we lost our first game, but even in the game that we lost against Italy, we were very solid. We played some very good football.
It felt like we shot ourselves in.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you look at that team, our strength really was in the midfield. I mean, you also go back to 2010. Again, our strength was in the midfield.
Antoniana alone was doing
Antoniana
a lot of
alone would do the job for you. When we had Asian Muntari will call for the ball, would dictate the pace of the game for you. So in 2006, our debut, we were impressive. In 2010, our best appearance at the World Cup, we were also equally good. And we had very good midfielders who had the legs, would do the dirty work, would do the tackles. We also had players who could drive the ball forward, because we wouldn't really set up to score a lot of goals.
Right.
That's one thing that every Ghanaian should know. The Black Stars that we even have currently, if you want to just tap with the quality in this team to that of 2006, 2010, quality comes no close to those squads. So definitely, you don't expect that we are even going to open up play. I don't think it's going to happen. But then again, just
so recently, you think we're going to sink deep?
I mean, even look at the manager who is taking up to the World Cup.
It's a defensive-minded manager.
And I'm not saying that being defensive is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tactic.
It's a game plan.
It's a game plan. It's a tactic in football that you can deploy. And
Can you do that against England? For how long can you do that?
Please go ahead.
Today it's a game plan.
Please go ahead.
But
go ahead. Yeah.
Just go back a bit and then watch the game against, Wales.
Yeah.
There was one thing that changed the game for us. And it was when we did changes, we brought on players that had the legs to run. We brought on the player that had the intent to carry the ball and move forward.
Right. Drive at goal.
And that was a key thing that I think, if the technical team really wants the Black Stars to do something good at the World Cup, that's a weapon that we need to utilize. Because until those players came on, we were struggling to attack, we were struggling to take chances, we were struggling to create chances. But when those players came in, I mean, these are young guys,
right?
But they taught us something, that there is quality in the team that can hurt opponents. And I think that it was a good revelation for us, and I would have loved that we would have played another friendly. But if it's not possible, I mean, you just learn from that game and then try to take advantage of what you can do to hurt the opponents. Yes, we are going in with a squad that, I mean, we are missing our center-back pairing in Salisu and Jiku.
Yeah.
I mean, on any day, this is the best center-back pairing that we have.
Yeah.
In defense, if you are talking about our fullbacks, they are not the best. Not to attack any player, but we don't have the best of fullbacks. We saw what happened in the game against Wales. In our left back, Gideon Mensah was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Baba Rahman came in. It was as if he was playing against Flash.
Yeah.
Players ran past him like he was not there. So that position, and you are coming up against England.
Yeah.
I mean, if Saka meets you, my goodness, it's going to be difficult. So if you are saying you are going to open up play, you are just setting up yourself to be beaten. And so I think that the best approach really is for you to go into the game with the defensive mindset,
right,
but have it at the back of your mind that you also have young players who can break very fast. So if you can defend well and break on the counter, maybe it's a very good plan for you.
Right.
Because you don't have a Samoja in the team.
Of course.
You don't have a player that has established himself at the World Cup that he can score goals.
Yeah.
This team does not have a tournament-proven striker that would score the goals for the Black Stars.
True.
So you expect that if you have players who can do damage on the flanks, create chances, you have to rely on them.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you are playing 3-5-2, where in defense you are sitting back with five players,
Yeah. And you move you move in attack with more numbers as well.
with more numbers, but players who are very fast, direct. I mean, if England attacks and you are defending, definitely their fullbacks will join the attack.
Of course.
Leaving spaces behind.
Sure.
So if you have Nuama who is very fast, if you have another winger who is very fast, once you are able to win possession in front of your area, one pass, Nuama is gone, and maybe you can do something.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying that in all the 3 games that should be the approach, but definitely because of the kind of quality you are taking to the World Cup, I don't see why you would open up play and say that you are going to match England boot for boot, match Croatia boot for boot.
It's never going to happen.
I think that the only positive in the attack is that we have players who can run, players who show that they can, be direct, drive the ball forward. If you are able to capitalize on that strength, I think that will be good for us.
Great.
We are going to the World Cup where we have played just 15 games at the World Cup across the 4 times that we have played. We've won 5 games. We've done 5 games. We've lost 5 games.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are just analyzing that, I think that we've not done so bad at the World Cup. We have that history, and 2010 will tell you that story that the Black Stars are a force when it comes to playing football at the world stage.
Right.
So we can do something. I just miss Otuado.
Why are you concluding this way?
I just miss Otuado because for the first time in a very long time at the 2022 World Cup, when we played against
South Korea.
Yeah. I thought that he had this attacking brain that how we attacked in that game. I thought
but you know, Samir, that game I've always mentioned that.
But Francis,
if a pregnant woman was watching that game,
hold
would
on.
have had miscarriage.
One day we'll have to join the conversation. Then we can wrap up. You spoke about the midfield. That pivot. Who do you think should start? Which 2 players do you think you start?
I mean, on any day, Partey should be the one
alongside
Caleb Yuenchi. I think that
you prefer Caleb
because he's young and he also enjoys besting forward. So on a counter break, you need that player with the legs to move forward.
Progress the ball.
Pasibo very slow. I don't think he can do that.
If I have my own way, some players will come back home. But
one is Zibo.
One is them. But one is the Zibo. One is the Kamaldin guy. See, my biggest problem here, right? I've listened to what Eric has raised a concern about the midfield. Francis believes that if they stick together, they'll be able to do something. I mean, Mike believes that, whatever happens, we need to find a way to win. If you go back to 2022, we scored 5 goals, and none of those players are in the squad. Wow. They scored. Kudus gave us 2 goals. Osman Bukhari scored.
Mohamed
Salisu also scored. So we scored 5 goals, and none of those 5 goal scorers are in this particular setup. How do we go about to get enough goals? Because a 3rd best played team gets to qualify for the next round. So if you are targeting a win against Panama, it means we need to score more goals. How do we then intend to score? Because like what Michael touched on, in the last 6 friendly games that we've played, we've just scored 3 goals, considered 13 goals.
Your answer lies in the fact that have we had any striker that has been gun blazing throughout the season going into a World Cup aside Asamoah Gyan? No, but we have Semenyo. And in as much as the Wales game, we struggled up front until Caleb Yuenchi and Enesnoma came on. We still have Antoine Semenyo to play on, to put in there, and that puts a lot of the tactics into perspective because these guys, a player like Antoine Semenyo will be able to provide you goals if you're able to play to his strengths. And what is his strength? His strength is not in being the lone man up front, trying to win you the first balls for someone to run at you.
For the past 6 months, he's not also playing at his strength because Pep Guardiola has played him on the right-hand side of the attack.
He has support. You see, he played in a team where Haaland was probably almost the one that was targeted with first balls, and Antoine Semenyo had to run ahead of him to get the second balls, or most of the time the passes were lead to Antoine Semenyo to move. Now, if you, and in this whole Otuadu debacle, you realize that this guy was being positioned in a place where he wasn't effective enough to affect the game. In as much as we don't like Jordan Ayew, he's the best person we have with the type of tactical game plan we want to deploy. If you want to go long, you need someone who is strong to be able to win you those first balls, so that your wingers that are fast-paced can latch onto the second balls and attack for you. He's the best man we have in the team currently, because Edu is very fast and is very good, but his height is a problem. You look at the England defense, and you have Konza.
Yeah, Konza.
Very tall.
Very tall, yeah.
If that
even Gay.
Yeah. Any of them deployed on Edu, and then we are shot by a man. Yeah, we are man down. But then if we can deploy Jordan Ayew in that way, and you'll be spoken to release the balls early.
Okay.
And not to
draw back, for him to just for him to just stay up front and know that I am the lone man up front, will be very effective. And I think the Kwesi issue, right? He's also primed to be a key cog in what we are trying to do.
Really?
I'll explain why. Thomas Partey doesn't have the legs, but he's the maestro who can find those fast-paced players you are looking for. Yeah. And you will not want Partey deep, but close to the defense. You need a destroyer. Caleb Yenchi is very fast, but when you are trying to defend, you don't pair a player that is lacking on fitness with a player that is very explosive and almost always wants to join the attack, because then you'll find you'll be exposed.
Right.
When you look at the Wales game, as Wales was dictating play, you realize that Partey always had to come back to come in.
Yeah. There was a cutting from Dan James where he had to quickly
form part of the back three to become a back four.
Yeah.
If you have Kwesi on the pitch, Kwesi does that for Partey to be able to now get the balls that are cleared out.
So between Sibo, like, Eric preferred Partey and then Caleb. Between Caleb and then Sibo, who starts alongside Partey?
In the Panama game, where we would want to dictate play, or where we feel we probably have the upper hand, Caleb Yuenchi fits
alongside Partey.
Yes,
right.
But when you move to Croatia and England, then you need more men in your box. I think you have to start calling Mikel Arteta for a few lessons here and there on how to do it.
Charlie, you, Rafa.
But yes, but the point is, each person has a role to play.
Right.
Caleb Yuenchi, yes, in as much as we all feel like he's explosive and all, I think he's more of a weapon coming off the bench in periods where teams have attacked and they are exhausted. Then you could bring in just like Nuama.
Came on against Wales.
And this is where I was actually gutted to see Derek Cohn not make the squad, because you have Marvin Senaya, who we said we need runners.
Yeah.
This is someone who goes and comes. Derek Cohn was that type of player, but he didn't make it. And he would have complemented Antoine Semenyo or whoever plays on the left wing far more than what we have with Gideon Mensah. But all in all, I think the coach has selected. And one more thing, Exodus 17:11.
What is there?
When Moses' hands were held high, the Israelites
won the battle.
But when his hands came down,
the enemy started
Amalekites started winning. As I always say, they have their tactics. We have our prophets. Whenever the prophets lead the line in any battle that Israel wins,
we tend to win. Great insights from the guys. But like I said, we're almost done. And tomorrow we'll bring you the opener between Mexico and South Africa. Mike, who wins the World Cup?
Portugal.
Who wins the World Cup?
Portugal.
Who wins the World Cup?
France.
Who wins the World Cup?
Spain.
Right. The guys sharing their perspective. This has been the Football Wave here on Wezo TV. All what I can say is that the best of luck to the Black Stars. We'll be watching them closely in the opening game against Panama in Toronto, and the second game against England on June 23, and then against Croatia on June 27. We'll bring you all the games here. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be back on your screen to bring you the opening game between South Africa and Mexico. My name is Mr. Samuel Api. I did this together with Michael, with Francis, with Eric, and then with Wandel as well. Massive shout out to Jonas, to Nee, to Mimi, to Frank, to Selassie, to Steve, to the Motion Kid.
Formats.
And to Formats. Thank you. Formats.
Which one is the Dilly? Is it the Dilly Studio?
No.
That's Steve.
That's Steve. And thank you very much, Steve. And then a very big shout out to you, Rico Frimpong, for putting this show together. We'll be back on your screens again tomorrow. But until then, this has been the Football Wave. Take care. We'll see you again. And have a good night.
Yeah. 1-0.
So after the round of 32,
yeah,
depending on opponent,
that one there, I know we don't catch them.
It's not rich there.
So what me I know right now, the what I tell you, it be 1-1-1-1, 3 ones.
England, Croatia 1-0.
1-0. Panama 1-0. England they take quick 1-0.
England
no ball they enter on a net.
No ball enter on a net.
No ball.
Clean sheet.
That one they I don't know who will catch.
That one they don't show.
But Asari, the quarterfinal, then we just color the opponents the way.
See, what me I see right now.
Tell them.
It be where I talk. No. So if you force me, what I will talk will be
Follow the
quarterfinal.
So Panama 1-0.
It be 3 ones.
1. But you are certain if we will score.
If we will score, it will be them.
When the referee take,
it take.
VAR no over 10. Can't DB hata.
If you serious,